Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is 6:30. Holy cow. Red Dog is on time. I really feel bad about myself sometimes because I always pride myself on being on time. It's just there's so much that goes on in the morning that sometimes I get on at 6:31, 6:32. I tell you guys a story all the time how I used to, I trained for 2 Ironman, and back in the day, you'd be meeting guys on the bike at like 4:30 in the morning to go out for 100 miles. And if you were there at 4:32, these guys are sitting in spandex on that bike, freezing the what's off. So I get it. Nobody wants to sit around. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3 Live. This is the 6:30 Club. It is December 17th. It is, let's say, Tuesday, the day before the Fed. You see I'm nice, clean shaven because Red Dog's got to go to the city and meet my friend Liz Clayman. Maybe I'll even see Charlie today and do a little segment. Last time I was on, or 2 times ago, I was on pre-election. They were like, where's the election going to go on? No president for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. I'm like, no, my guys say Trump's going to win with a landslide. What do you buy? I'm like, Tesla and Bitcoin. They're like, what about DJT? I'm like, I don't know that one, or it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, with that said, what a move, right? Holy cow. Let's get to, we don't have any charts here. We can't, how do we have can't send a sauna without any charts. So here you go. I'm learning how to get around this. So basically, here we are. There's a little talk, right? There's like a tug of war. Like if I was doing a meme, I'd be a tug of war. You have, the Mag 7 has been fantastic. You have Mega Cap that's been fantastic. You have Bitcoin that's been fantastic. And it's been a narrow group of these names that have been carrying the tape. Whereas in the last, 4 weeks or so, you've had bad AD lines. You had the minute. I can't say the word breadth, like BREADTH, right? Could you say it? Breath. See, like I could say breath, like breathe, but like the AD lines, the breadth of the market hasn't been great. So like, who's gonna win, Red Dog? Or all of a sudden the Mag 7 name's gonna peak and pull in, and then we're gonna roll over because Nvidia's weak, and there's not a lot of names that are moving like the ones that we're focusing on. Well, the beauty about being a trader is you don't have to be in all 500 of the S&P. You could be in 6 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them, 1 of them, or 10 of them, all depending on your skill set. And at this point, if you look here at the chart of the SPYs, all we have here is a nice upper channel, right? Consolidating above the 8-day, digesting above the 21-day. Look at this active sequence. It's been awesome. This morning, the SPYs are down a little bit. I always feel like the day before the Fed, markets are a little under pressure because it's kind of, what's the word? It would be disrespectful to gun the market in front of the Fed and think that you want Powell and his crew to be a little less hawkish, because now the word is they're going to cut a quarter and they're going to be hawkish because of the economy's not doing as bad as everybody says. But anyway, so what's this loss? This is 605.21. SPYs right now are only down $1.40, so it's right there. It could even go a little bit below it and come back, and then this is your upper range. And within that range, obviously all stocks aren't created equal. Like I said before, I was on Fox Business actually twice since the election, and my focus was Tesla. Holy cow. Look at the size of this move, okay? And it's been so awesome. The reason why it's been so awesome is because you've had various setups along the way where you could have refreshed your share side, refreshed the type of approach to it. This was your first move to 358. Then you remember, they sold some excitement here, rebuilt, gave you a push up, and then this was really your last setup where you had 348, where a lot of us were buying verse, and then you could have added when it took out this 361. And then remember, I'm like, if we get through 360, 370, it's going to be like a magnet to 384 to 414, and then you go real quickly to the weekly chart. How do we come up with that area? Because this was your point of reference from 2021. And now, to be quite honest, it's getting a little bit frothy. If you are not long Tesla, TSLA, Elon Musk company that have been doing really well for us, for today's not your day to buy it. Even if we're like Red Dog, you say it can go to 550, 600 next year. I understand that, and it can. Now, because somebody's like, Red Dog, you got to give a new target. All your targets have been met. I'm like, well, I think it can go, why shouldn't this be able to go to 550 to 600 next year? But again, for someone who trades for a living like we do, or most of us do, I haven't told Chase. Chase got in this at 605. He's been an Apple. I won't let him sell Apple. He bought that during the pandemic. We remember we were in the car. I'm like, I want you to start using a tier system, Chase, because he bought Tesla right here in his Robinhood account. I'm like, I know today's game day. You have your game against Caldwell opening season. I'm like, but this is what I want you to do. I'm like, I want you to sell a third of your Tesla this morning up whatever. He's going to be having his waffle soon. And then we're going to figure out how you could buy it back. So you could use a tier system. So you could book some and buy a dip instead of just sitting. Because chances are you could just sit. It'll be a lot higher in a year from now. But I want him to learn how to, how to use a tier system like all of us use. But anyway, so I would be trimming a little bit of Tesla into this move. That's what I'm going to do. I have, somebody's like, Red Dog, you sold premium for the first time yesterday. I'm like, I did. I sold a little premium, which I'm not nervous about. So I'm long Tesla overnight. This is the alpha team. This is where all of us hang out, where we've been doing really well lately. And I did short some 5-10 calls, meaning that at 5-10 on Friday, if Tesla gets there, I will be short that stock. Some people have been in a pain trade shorting the whole time. It's the first time I did that. And I usually do this and usually when I do it, it's like a half a day away from some kind of short-term little top. It just is like that. 30 years, I have that feel. So what I'm going to try and do is thread the needle a little bit, trim a little bit of Tesla into this. I'm not going to sell 5-10 calls today. It's too close now. So I'm a little, not so happy about that. I'll probably sell like the 535s or 540s for the same price I sold these and see how it goes. But that's just because I'm a professional trader and I've done this for a while. I did that the last time too here. Remember Tesla and not Tesla, it was Mr. Okay, everybody was getting a little nuts and it was going a little parabolic and Mr. was above 504. And that's when I gave you guys, 2 or 3 of the reverse ETFs to play. They're like $4 or $5. I sold some premium and it was a little nerve wracking, but I did it here. That's where the 8-day was. And then you didn't even have to think about it. And you have to think about it in your head. That's what I do early in the morning, which is going to be something we do together, rolling out in 2025. But I'm saying that morning, I'm like, okay, if this, then that, if that, then this. So, remember Mr. opened up, failed to hold, didn't get above and stay above. You could have shorted more there. And then that happened. And then since this, they've been selling strength since. Even yesterday, while we're talking about Mr., I took Mr. Stock MSTX actually home long, and I was long some calls, and I had some puts sold. And yesterday they did it again. They opened up and sold it down. Just the way it's trading. When it opens lower, you buy it, it goes green. When you open up high, it goes from green to red. It is what it is. Anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Let's see who's tuning in. Mitch McGee asked me if I still am in rum. Yes, I am. You're on CNN. Okay, I haven't looked at that in a while. What up, Bobby 4.0? Bobby's 4.0 already. I'm Red Dog 2.0. 2025, I think I'm going to start Red Dog 3.0, which we'll get to. Futures contracts rolled. Okay. That's a new name, the Mobile Trader. Okay. You must be a futures guy. What up, Diego? How you doing? We got It's. I've never seen you before. Mister. Yeah. They had to close it on the lows to open it up 6. Quantum computing, yes, I've been in a bunch of those. By the way, this is everyone that I'm talking to right now. I'm not talking to myself. Some people make sugar honey iced tea up and make they're talking to all these people. These are the dogs around the world who tune in every day. Since 2020, we've been doing the 630 Club. 5,000 to 7,000 views a day on the arm. Anyway, hopefully it's been adding value, and we'll see where we go from here. So with that said, IWM has been shaky. So is the equal weight, SPY. So if you want to talk about that for a second. So the IWM has definitely been, a grinder. It had a beeline move to 244. And then since then, it's been grinding down, and now it held above the 50-day. It's kind of tight. I don't think it's a horrible setup. A lot of people are thinking that the Fed's going to be hawkish, and only do 50 basis points worth of cuts in 2025, which makes sense. Especially if we're probably, I would think we might, stay strong and have a ramp up in the first half and then a decline. That's what Tom Lee says, and I actually agree. I usually agree with Tom Lee. He's just, a little bit more bullish than I am at times and puts bigger numbers on things than I do. I try and be a little bit more realistic, but a lot of things he says work. So this did hold. So if you were looking to do something for the Fed, you could buy a call spread in the IWM and maybe, we peak a little bit in Mag 7 and then some money comes back to the small caps, perhaps. Look at the RSP. The RSP is the equal weight S&P, which has been on the decline, meaning that the 80 lines have not been good. It's like flavors, This was the first part of November was great, and then it came in. Same thing with the small caps. And first quarter was Mag 7 in the fourth quarter. And then in the middle was other sectors. And that's what we do as traders. We try and find out where the action is. Am I still in rum? Someone, yeah, why wouldn't I be in rum? I don't really drink rum, but I think Rumble has been acting very, very well. Remember when I flagged all those call guys? There was hundreds of thousands of calls going off as if somebody read tomorrow's newspaper today, which is what you could see with volume in the market. And P.S., a day later, all of a sudden the CEO started to become stock friendly. I guess everyone's beating them up. So anyway, I think this is going to be higher. I'm long a decent amount. Look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart setting up a nice bull flag. I'm long it. If it gets above 9, I would think it could be an 11 and a quarter. I'll make you guys a push-up bet that if this isn't 11 and a quarter, it doesn't touch 11 in the first quarter of next year, we'll come up with something. Whoever wants to bet me, we'll do a push-up competition or something. Maybe we'll do the Father's Day push-up challenge again for charity. But anyway, I do think that this is acting better, and we could see that spot. So, at this point, do what you got to do. That was just a question from some of the dogs. Yesterday, there was some good little, like, what's the word? Like the spacey type stocks. So, I did buy back Lunar. Someone's like, Red Dog, why are you back in Lunar? I'm like, well, I played this from 880. I bought it through 985. I think I sold it into this day. I was done with it. I don't stay for some bigger parts of moves on names that I'm not that committed to just because I have so much going on. And then it peaked at 17, came in. And then yesterday I had a little bit of a Red Dog reversal. So I bought it back. Just something to do. That was, that sector's been pretty good. Space is a little cheesier name, but this stock has a nice little lower base here, and someone's like, why are you buying this? I'm like, because I don't know, just my little spidey sense went off that perhaps if Musk is getting a huge valuation for his thing, like I don't even know how many billion, like 350 billion, this is the Virgin guy, and it's already been absolutely annihilated, so maybe it's worth a play. So that's why it's not a focus. I have those going on. I also have this little ACHR from a few days ago. Looks like it could head towards 984 or more. It had a big move, consolidated, but these are just some little things that I've been navigating. Besides the big names, I did buy Apple back. I said I have to re-engage Apple. Apple gave you a nice little bull flag continuation. I've been in Apple a bunch of times this year. My last really, really big play was when it took out 230 and 237. Listen, there are setups and then there's trade management. Setups for the money trade and trade management. What did I just say? Setups? I forgot. No, I'm kidding. There's setups, there's big money trades and trade management. So this was, one spot and then another spot, and then it turns into trade management. So I wound up holding the 8-day, took out, 250, and to me, I'm still long that. Same thing with Amazon. You have setups and trade management. The setup was right here. Once again, when it took out this 202, and now it turns into trade management. What do I mean by trade management? It's above the 8 that you buy a dip, you trade it through a price point, you roll up options, you do all the things you're supposed to do to book money and stay with the trade. Okay, so this is trade management. I got to go back down to here. I don't see a lot of people. Oh, there we go. Avago strong again. Yeah, so this is trade management. Okay, well, Meta has been trade management. Right? What do I mean by that? Well, here is your buy one. Here took out the channel, and then it's trade management as it's been above the 8-day moving average, meaning buy dips, play it through price points. So every now and then, when you get that TBA, which my friend Dan Zanger calls it, the technical buy area, where it's the fight between the longs and the shorts, that's where you want to have your size, and that's where you want it to then explode through. And then you want to let it go, let it get to a target, take some off, and then trade management. Trade management. Write that down, Conrad. That's going to be a good word for us. Anyway, with that said, I have Conrad over here. Conrad is going to be working with me very closely moving forward. We're going to develop a thing called Conrad Corner, which is going to be for all the young traders out there who aren't doing this for 30 years, who want to figure out a process and can't take millions of dollars worth of risk, but need to make a few $100s a day. But anyway, Intel's Apple, Johnny, likely on Intel's new CEO shortlist. All right, I don't, Intel. I'm not going to be with that. Anyway, IBIT, yes. This has been fantastic. Some people like Red Dog, you're a little cheesy with your AI, Tommy the Turkey, the Santa Claus, the ball drop. And I'm like, you know what? I like to have some fun also. Besides looking at red and green lines, I figured why not get involved in this here? And we've been in it the whole way. Look at this sequence. What's that called? Trade management. And we've been managing this pretty damn well, and I'm still in it. So anyway, as we head into the Fed tomorrow, which typically could be volatile with the S&P up 28, 29%, and an AD line that's not looking so great, what do you want to do? You do what you feel comfortable doing. Okay, it's December 17th. Yesterday I went to the highs of my year. and I had a little tough time in the end of August, September. So I'm feeling good, and that means a lot of my guys are feeling good, and just pare things down. The last thing you want is a leg sweep. And at this point, if the setup keeps happening, just go with it. But maybe you do a little less size and you're a little less scattered. You'd be more focused on what's happening. I'm trying to, get rid of plays and just take a little piece out of these moves with my trade management, but I keep finding new things. You know why? Because I have an alpha team with hundreds of traders that are looking for trades. Everyone has a different style. So I'm like a melting pot into things that I absorb and go with, which helps give them confidence too. I would not be buying a Vago today. I'm sorry. You kind of missed it. Some guys had a option strategy going into it. Some guys said, I'm going to buy versus pro earnings gap. And some, have gotten paid. So where's Avago right now? AVGO up another 3. I would be selling into this. Do not buy AVGO today here. Usually it's not going to end well. I'm just saying that you missed it. The right setup in the right time. Same way in blackjack. You got to wait for an 11 versus 6 to double down. You might get lucky once or twice doubling down on a bad hand or going in Texas Hold'em when you probably shouldn't, but over time it's not going to work out well. So anyway, I would be careful buying that. Somebody's like, Red Dog, how could you have any longs on with the way NVIDIA is acting? I'm like, well, NVIDIA hasn't been the key to the market lately. NVIDIA has been broken or different ever since the Red Dog reversal post earnings, and that was right here. Okay, NVIDIA, on this day, you had a Red Dog reversal, didn't break above the area it actually traded through and sold off. Then you had a buyable range trade, and now it looks like it's trading through the range. And now look at how it's in no man's land. NVIDIA is in no man's land. But guess what? It hasn't really mattered much because there's been other flows going to other places. So just don't short the SPYs because NVIDIA's out of play. Just don't short a Vago or Tesla because NVIDIA is below the 821 day. It's just the way it is. Money rotates, things move, new leaders happen, and that's that. That's why we get up early, and that's why we prepare, and that's why we have a bunch of different names on our go-to list. And NVIDIA has been in the B- list for the last week or two, and Tesla's been in the A list. Bitcoin's been on the A list. Apple's been on the A list. Amazon's been on the A list. Google, but I miss Google. Some guys like, Red Dog, you're losing your touch. You haven't played Google in a while. I'm like, okay. But I'll do the chart every day for you. Sometimes I am here for you. Last time I had a really good setup here was right when it took back the moving averages, looked great, and then all of a sudden, boom. And then if you would have used the pro gap pivot play, board versus here, didn't matter if I was in it or not. You could have been in it because you're one of my dogs, and I put a chart out every day of Google to Redler Premium. Anyway, nice move. So a lot of things going on out there. The only people complaining are the ones who are fighting the tape. The only people who are complaining are saying, hey, you know what? We're a little bit in debt out here. This isn't going to end well. Okay. At some point, it might not end well, but at that point, we'll see where we are. We'll probably get some kind of bearish move in the overall indices that do not repair, that do not rebuild, and head lower. In order to get to the 200-day in the S&P, what do you have to do? You got to break and stay below the 821-day first, right? It's a process to reduce risk. It's a process to change an active sequence. It doesn't happen like that. So not saying you got to be there till the end, but don't fight a move that's been working out really well, and it's December 17th, and typically, strong stocks get stronger because nobody wants to take profits, and weak stocks don't have their January effect until they're ready. Like some guys like, Red Dog, BlackBerry, what the hell are you doing there? I'm like, well, it was tight. Because I've been in the business for a long time, I do have some friends that are fundamentalists that I send my technical note, and they're like, hey, take a look at BlackBerry. People don't understand what's happening here. It's software for cars, and they might catch up. I looked at it technically. I'm like, this looks pretty good. I'll start buying it, and that happened. Just like that. It was a nice trade. Even Lucid, looks pretty good, to be honest. I think that this could see close to $3 or so, as Rivian also is making a nice move from the lows. He woke up, nice little bull flag above the 8-day continuation. So that's how a new active sequence starts. You could find a new active sequence even in broken names, depending on the time of year. You could play leaders, you could play things to play catch up, or you could just do nothing and complain. But not here. My dogs don't complain. Conrad, who's complaining? Anybody complaining? Nobody's complaining. Let's see. Saun, that's been a sick trade. Like that just shows you how bad I am. I was playing this thing here, and I think it's $6. This is and look at that move. You want to talk about a stock that could trade, that could change your year, that could change a lot of things for you if you find it early and stick with it. And this thing followed every rule in the book. Went up, pulled back, held the 8 day. You could have bought a dip and played it through a level. Then it went up. You could have bought a dip and played it through a level. And then you could have sold some strength, bought a dip in the 8 day, and played it through a level. Wow. Should you do anything here? I wouldn't. You're a little late. But anyway, that's what you do, guys. Keep moving forward. Keep finding the next setup. Try and stay with it with trade management, and you could always eat, right? Dogs got to eat or drink its iced coffee. And I haven't even eaten yet in 36 hours, so I fast every Monday. I fasted all day yesterday. I had iced coffee and water. Haven't had anything yet today. I'll probably have something around 1 o'clock. 36 hours, right? Everyone, if you eat too much, you feel full, you get tired and complacent. Sometimes you got to test yourself and do some things to make sure you're in control of your being. Anyway, with that said, good luck today. It's 6:52. I'm going to trade the morning, go get my suit on, got a car going to see Liz Clayman. Then I'm going to come back, trade the close, and I'm going to be in Caldwell watching Chase on opening day. What's your day like? Figure it out. Figure out how to win the morning so you can win the day, and I'll help you do that coming up.